Local war protesters show their frustration after 3 years of the Iraq War. Protesters say 3 years is enough. End the Iraq War now. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here. I'm James Jarman. It's News First at 5:30. The third anniversary of the Iraq War is tomorrow, and people across the country are using this weekend as a time to protest the war. Like others, they want the president to bring the troops home. And in Colorado Springs, more than 100 people gathered in Acacia Park today. That's where News First reporter Nima Reza is right now with more. Hi, Nima.
Hey, James. The predominant feeling here seemed to be that of frustration that the war is still going on. There were a number of groups here, some of which included Iraq War veterans. One of those, a soldier from the 2nd ID that may have to go back to Iraq.
Stop the war. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we see peace.
The not-so-subtle signs marking the third anniversary of the beginning of the war. The crowd stressing peace.
We want our country back. Tired of our country being hijacked by criminals.
The message was clear, and it came in various ways, through petitions, pins, and even sidewalk art. This soldier who didn't want to show his face on camera is with the 2nd ID at Fort Carson. He's been to Iraq once, and he's facing a possible second deployment.
It would have been over if they would have paid more attention to civilian casualties, if they would have focused more on the liberation of Iraq and the Iraqi people.
Elizabeth Spradlin is another Iraq War vet. She says she saw the writing on the wall even before she left to go to the Middle East.
First of all, our mission was very undefined from the administration down, and I can say that we more or less, when we did have a mission, we protected corporate interests.
Protesters also claim the Bush administration isn't listening to Americans.
The majority of us disapprove of it. However, our actions do not reflect what the majority of us sort of believe.
The 2nd ID soldier believes there was good reason for being in Iraq in the first place, but the military needs to change its focus.
The military doesn't look at things so much as, they don't look at things in the broad picture. They look at one mission at a time.
Anti-war groups also complain that the war is getting too expensive, and this is just the beginning of the protest this weekend. Tomorrow there'll be another rally just off of Nevada at Camp Casey. James?
Okay, thanks so much, Nima Reza down in Acacia Park tonight.
Honeymoon period when we invaded Iraq, that if we had made different decisions in the military, the civilian military leadership, the outcome would have been much different.
Amidst everything that's happened in Iraq since March 19, 2003, the sacrifice, the perseverance, even the progress, some here say they believe their message is still more sound than all of it.
War is never the solution to peace, so I just think it's kind of ridiculous that we've been in Iraq for 3 years.
Or, in the eyes of many protesters, a decade spent in Vietnam. Both, they say, reasons to don the uniform of protest and hope their voices penetrate like ammunition without the deadly side effect.
This is really where it all began. It was people congregating and getting up and speaking their word, and everybody is, is being fair, and everybody is open, to what you have to say, no matter what that might be. And I think this is the true democracy here.
Or at the very least, people finding comfort in the sound of their own voices. Voices calling out to the next generation.
By the time that I'm in college, I'd like to see us out of Iraq.
A wish reflected here, but clouded in doubt.
He wants you, and he wants you.
And besides the number of casualties, the cost of the war in Iraq has also gone up over the past 3 years, from $4.4 billion to $7.2 billion this month. Jeanette, back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you for that report.